Alright, I don't know if I can keep doing intros. You can read, you can see the title. It says Fireworks Factory, 117 percentage point tutorial. Coming out here, hold square and up. Eventually, once you hit through that, press down to shift, going back up out of it.
Can't believe that.
You can usually miss this. Just turn around and get it. You'll grab that green, otherwise you'll get it later. For breaking through this is kind of tricky. It's kind of blind right into here. You can break through this, slow down, and get your camera back. And you're just going to want to aim for this.
This is going to be a little bit hard to come back with this Fireworks Factory, but this is still very workable. Still in it.
Pick up that green right before that last little bottle. You can technically get this bottle here, but there's a really cool strat we're going to do after Fireworks, where we'll get it instead. And then gem counts. It's a 10 gem. Gem counts are going to use, obviously, without it. So you're going to enter at 10. 2 routes. A non-proxy route, which is the standard route, and a Firefly proxy route, which is a little bit difficult to hit because it's Firefly. Very notorious. Of course, this is the standard route. Quick note on ninjas, common enemy in here. A lot of these will just not have gems. So try to pay attention to which ones don't. You can see here. They're just infinitely spawning is a big thing. And then, in general, it's not a good idea to flame the normal ones you'll see here. The gun ones are probably fine. But in general, they jump away from you, and if you're close enough, they will actually just attack you. Do a backflip, and you really sometimes can't even hit them. You can still hit them, and if you get comfortable enough, there's nothing wrong. You can see I still got it while walking forward. I still got the kill while walking forward, but you do have to be a little bit careful. Just be warned. Alright, start with, grab those gems, come on down. Pretend like I didn't go for that Firefly, because I kind of didn't, right? It's the normal route. Here, there are 2 ninjas here and here on the other side of this bridge. If you come too far out going through this vase, you will trigger one of them to come this way. I'll show you how to deal with that later. You should never have that happen because you now know that you just need to turn earlier into here. You might want to stop, turn, and pivot, or just make sure you don't go too far out. Don't necessarily need to flame that guy. This is a wall glide. You can also do it without a wall glide. You can just do a hover. If you were to flop, you can go a little bit forward. The lava, I think, kind of raises. I don't think the platform necessarily goes down. And you can eventually burn your butt onto the platform. So you're to mess it up for some reason. Be careful with those vases. They're not right up against the wall. Can be kind of easy to miss those. And then, notice I picked up the rocket. The sequence is kind of pretty important. You want to shoot at this before hitting that guy. What can happen sometimes if you hit him, you're kind of aiming towards that and he can block your rocket. And then you also want to be a little bit mindful of Greta as she kind of comes through here. If you move pretty well, you've got a decent bit of leeway. You can shoot without her interfering, but every now and then, at the right moment, Greta can come and kind of just block your shot or something like that. Again, one of these 2 guys can do it. But yeah, in general, I recommend just kind of hugging this corner, shooting, going through this guy. You can even miss this guy and get him after you swoop back. I'll point that out later. But shoot, go through. If you miss him, it's not that big of a deal. Clear this room however you want. You would get the guy right here. You just charge a little bit through and push sparks through that section. That's generally what I recommend. Now, you can see here that I've got the 2 guys here. If I had screwed up manipulating him early, this guy would be back there. But I'm not worried. This guy will be slightly... he's a camera cycle. Proximity also kind of plays into it. It's not just like As long as you have it on from across the map, he's gonna start moving. He might be, you know, not exactly in this spot. He might be further along. We're still gonna tackle this the same way. So you can see I get the 3 baskets, and I'm going to get him. I like to drag my flame over so this guy gets pushed back. If I have to come a little bit further, there's a chance it pushes him a little bit more left. He does kind of go like the complete opposite side of you. So it's very easy to accidentally push him this way. You can also push him this way, and what I like to call bowling is where you send this guy down and he blows up these ninjas, and if you get a strike, you get all, I think there are 4. Maybe 5, I don't remember. You're not always going to hit the ninjas for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. Sometimes he will blow up on the other side of these ninjas, and sometimes he won't. Regardless, after that, we're going to grab this and then clean up these ninjas. You can do a quick jump here. If you, for some reason, manipulated this guy, which you shouldn't because you just listened to how not to, you're going to get this first guy on the right here. Go down the bridge, kill him, and jump over like I said before. But you're not going to do that because you know better. You're armed with knowledge. Noodles percent complete. I don't think this from direction matters either. That one just feels more natural. And as you can see here, yeah, there's 4. I didn't get any. If typically in this case, I like to kind of leave myself like a line back. So like these 2, I'm going to get on the way back. Maybe not in this specific case, but I'll probably jump and turn in to get this guy. In this case, I just got all of them. If for some reason you needed that chest because you screwed up, pretend like I got this. Pretend like I got this. I will typically start getting the chest here. I'd shoot it. So I would have come out of here and cut immediately left rather than coming to the right and cleaning up the gems. This guy's pretty consistently going to be on a bad cycle. I don't think you'll ever catch him on a good cycle. So that's why you have the rocket. You can't just flame him. The proxy route, you'll be able to actually flame him just based on how it ends up. So when you jump up, you can jump one more time and shoot it. You can jump to the right and around, get his gem. Here, okay, I do this, good. There are 3 shadows you can see fall down here. There's a visual cue for when you need to start charging. When this second guy falls down, begin your charge. It's as simple as that. So here's the first. I don't need to go this slow. Second guy touches ground. They will line up with you, even if you're a little bit more forward or back, typically. So I'm charging. Just straight on through. And there's the third guy right into my charge. As soon as you get him, we're going to pivot and we're going to go for the faces. You'll occasionally get a couple broken, excuse me. This can be a little bit of a tricky section. The way I like to handle this is I'll just show it first. It's like that. This can actually be a little bit tricky to do. I like to flame into this wall. You can see I basically almost bonk. I believe if you flame too far out to the right here, you have potential for causing the ninja to flop backwards. So this prevents it for sure. So if you don't like that, if you find that a little bit too difficult, you can clean this up any number of ways. You can jump and do one of these. Just, you know, be mindful of the ninjas. If you do try to, you can wait for them like this. Flaming them will cause them to generally go backwards. Oftentimes you won't be able to hit them and they'll hit you. Skip through Greta, go through the cutscene, and get shot. You can clean this little room up a couple of different ways. You're going to do a few different passes. So here, you can see I'm just going to walk out, shoot. There is an ideal scenario, but I'm generally just going to react to whatever I see. And what I'm going to see is usually them not synced up very well. And then I like to clean them up like that. I did kind of a bad job, but I was able to recover it. Every now and then, one of these guys may have thrown a bomb, because he might be like right here, or right here for this guy, you know. He'll throw a bomb towards you, and it won't explode till you turn back and are coming through here. So be mindful of if he throws or not. And then after that, go out. And again, you can clean that room up any number of ways. I generally like to try to get all the ninjas in like the first logical pass. So that one in that corner, and then the other three, just kind of like so. I find it a little bit awkward, aside from maybe getting this one, who's already just kind of in the way, to go out this door to the left, you know, over here, when I'm exiting for the final time, and cleaning up these other two. This corner might be fine to leave. I wouldn't leave this like close corner, or that one, it's just too far out of the way. I could be wrong. You find your feel. Every now and then, if those guys are too far back, you might need to step out more. I'm usually pretty conservative, and I go pretty far out. I generally don't think you need to go that far out. Find your comfort level. Don't forget that gem on the right. Get that out of midair and glide on over. It's pretty simple. This, I play very safe. This 2 gem, you must get. This will fall down here. This is the only gem that falls down here. Consistently, it's coded to go down there. It's not like an accident gem. So if you go into this Samag Ninja HQ area and come out, it's still gonna be on the ground there. You're screwed. So as you can see, I play it very safe. I make sure I land first and then shoot, and then get it. Otherwise, if you miss that gem, you have to get it after you finish the level. Is when you're gonna get it. There are a couple different ways you can handle it as well. You can do something like that, a little bit riskier. You can also, I think, hit it from further back. A couple different ways. So pick your poison. It's obviously not the biggest time save, and it's decent time loss, but not a ton. You can take this room again. However you want, I just like to go this way. Now this guy you can actually get after this green gem. It's I think a little bit faster, a little awkward. It's not too bad though. You could technically even clean up this little area afterwards. Find your preference. I do prefer doing it beforehand. Alright, so this is Ninja HQ. First things first, we're going to go here. You do not have to, you just have to be behind this wall. It's very generous. And what will happen is it will cause these 2 guys to start moving again. Prioritize getting a good pivot. You can take your time. Slide on in. You can see if I break this down. I don't know if I really need to break this down that much, but see, I let go pretty early and I make sure I get this pivot. Every now and then I've bonked, but it's been usually like a controller change issue. I just make sure you slide up and around just fine. You can always go back to that wall if for some reason you screw up these guys. Some people try to go on the other side, and that you have to go, I think, decently far into this to get them to start moving again. Just like so. Be careful. Both of these gems can sometimes just fall in the lava. Like that. And then for some reason, Sparks has a very hard time getting those, so you have to go very exaggerated. Like you could kind of saw me go out there. So. Cool little thing you can do here. You can knock him into this base and break it. I missed. So aim a little bit more right when you crash through him. So you can see I went a little bit too far left. I need to go more right. Otherwise you just break through that. Cool little thing here. You wait for them to be about there. A flame charge. We break some rules in this and flame charge some of the ninjas, which are generally not a good thing. They will fly backflip away from you. Take this however you feel comfortable. If you can do that without jumping before this guy, it's probably the fastest way to do it. That wasn't the quickest rocket pickup. Another note on the rocket. You do not need to sit there and wait for Spyro to pick them up. You'll get comfortable running right up to them and then dropping your charge for like a frame, maybe a little bit more, and then immediately recharging again. And Spyro will do kind of like a very almost delayed rocket pickup. So you've got plenty of time to work with. You don't have to sit there and wait. Again, that's something you kind of get accustomed to, get used to. You can also, again, you don't always need to jump there. You can do something like this. Charge through him though. From here, I'm just going to show this. There is a line right about here I use as a visual cue for this guy when you charge through him. If you aren't comfortable with this little faster strat, you can just stop maybe like right here, shoot, and by the time you get up there, his gem will have fallen. The alternative, slightly faster method is again right at this line. I'm going to do a flame charge. I guess I jumped too. That's probably worth pointing out. I think I skipped my circle input. Oh, okay, no, I'm even further back than I think here, as I'm approaching the line. Well, let me play this through here. There we go. Just barely. Yeah, you saw it go in there. And I jumped to make it over the explosion. So. Very quick flame charge. Every now and then that 5 gem might be a little bit deep. Now, if you are newer, this is going to actually be like an overall just slightly tricky area. This guy will be anywhere along here, depending on how well you play through. Every now and then he'll be really right next to it, and when you blow him up, this blows up. If you're trying to go as fast as possible, make sure you get this 10 gem. This is an absolutely important 10 gem to get. This 5 gem you'll typically get on your way back. You don't have to wait for it. In this case, like that. So I made a mistake there, and I'll show you why. So I have to go in a little bit to make sure I get that 10 gem. And I actually just barely get this guy. So some people... So if I didn't get that 10 gem, this wouldn't have been as close for me to flame this guy. Now, if you struggle with being able to flame this guy, because if I was a little bit later, he would have turned around and he would have been aggroed on me. And when they're aggroed on me, on you, I should say, I should probably show this off. The way they behave is they follow you. So you can't actually get to the other side of them and flame them. You have to get their aggro to drop, which can take a little bit of difficulty. Now you see this rocket. If you're not comfortable with getting that guy, you can come and always get this rocket after shooting it. You know, it respawns pretty quickly. Clear that room and then come in, respond to wherever he is and shoot him. There's also another rocket here if you want to try chance it. So if you think there's a chance you could get him and you don't want to decide to get a rocket till you come in here, you can come and get that rocket. You can also get this at the end, I'll show here. One thing I do want to show off, a lot of people think that these guys are global cycles. They're actually camera cycles. So they won't move if the camera's not on them. There's also some sort of proximity with them. You know, it's not like I can be just across the map and have the camera over this way. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. To demonstrate what I'm talking about is here is that back room, and you can see as I turn right there, he's right there. So if I wait just a little bit, you know, my camera's not on that, and I look, there he goes again. The exact same cycle, as opposed to like, if I were to speed this up, you could see him just run back and forth eternally. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. So I think in this room you're close enough, even if he's off screen, I think he still goes. So there's some consequence in here. All that to say, I don't know. Think about rockets. Let's take this back here.
I hate when that happens.
So clearing this room, we're going to do a counterclockwise sweep and do a clockwise sweep. That is the best way. Again, what you do might vary with this guy too. In general, as long as you can hit the fastest way to do this, this is the easiest way, actually. Fastest and easiest, those go very well together. So I need to wait for him to blow up. There is a chance, and I've had it happen to him before, where as he's turning, and sometimes I've sat there and tried to get it to time right, I flame him, and he goes running, let's say over here. He'll like maybe hit this guy, or sometimes he even hits this guy, and that's great because I don't really have to wait for him to blow up, and that I can take this a little bit tighter. But like I said, counterclockwise sweep of the inside gems. Just like so. And then we're going to go through and get the clockwise sweep of the outside gem. So it kind of lines up very nicely like that. Coming through here, you can just charge through this guy, but we can also do a flame charge jump like so, and then turn.
The important parts, at least.
The way I move specifically doesn't cause these guys to shoot, and you can see a little bit here. I don't immediately turn to them. I kind of try to keep my camera off them a little bit longer. Every now and then you might get this back guy to fire at you. And if you've played well, this is actually like a common sparkless spot. Maybe not sparkless, but you'll take damage, specifically in the spot. And if you're already green, you might want to be careful. So keeping them off camera and then being right up against them when you put them back on camera can be a way to kind of mitigate that. I shoot to aim pretty left of this grab zone. Sometimes you'll miss the grab zone trying to get that one gem, just come back. Or sometimes you'll miss the one gem, just get it after. Break that, it's going to fall through, collect these gems. You can do a little better than that. Jump on that side and hold X to buffer it. Make sure, it doesn't really matter, but if you want to dupe a gem, you can let that cutscene play. Have her kill that ninja and then skip it. Skip this as fast as possible. You're not going backwards, so even if you accidentally dupe a gem, you're not going to pick it up, so don't worry there. Skip through this. Now this is the hardest, like, early character skip out of all three that you do. 3, right? Yeah. So it's fairly simple once you kind of get it down, but like honestly, like top level we even still kind of mess it up here and there. The best way to kind of approach is to pivot, and I don't like this approach, but I can make it work. If you're trying to be safe and you're new, try to maximize the diameter that you're kind of going through. So don't go like this because you risk bonking. What I'm trying to say is with the biggest line here, you'll have plenty of time to flop away from the wall here. And as soon as you flop, you'll glide, and that'll allow you to not do that. That'll allow you to kind of hit your head like you just saw, but still make it keep my glide. So I'm not too close here. Oops, don't do that. Whereas here, that might happen. You can also bonk and flop from the glide. So really try to maximize this. Let yourself get into that flop, and as soon as you do, start the glide. That's my biggest tip with this. And then as far as where to aim, it's pretty generous. Not too left. You're kind of basically just aiming for this antenna. See, I just kind of showed you the left and right absolutes that don't work. So go straight forward like so. Let me get this back up. I'm going to take this through and just show you kind of slow-mo. So you can see I'm going maximizing the diameter, flop. I even keep that actually pretty... You can charge like I did. You can go kind of low, but you don't need to. I do recommend kind of charge, flop, immediately glide. You'll clear it pretty well. If you are hitting your head, try, starting your glide a little bit later. And again, making sure you're not right up against the wall. Yeah. Alright, so this is Agent 9 and Fireworks Factory. Maybe one of the most notorious parts of this run. If you've ever ran this game, if you ever played this game, this part's kind of a nightmare. I will link below how to get consistent Agent 9. It involves a controller unplug. I'm not going to talk about that. You can watch the video. If you are going to be doing Agent 9 or Agent Spyro, that's what I'm going to cover here. So let's start with Agent 9. So, I guess to build on the consistent Agent 9 part, as you enter, if you're not doing the consistent one, hold square and X, and you're going to mash the crap out of start. And you can see I moved a little bit because there's some time where you can actually put an input in, and that's what we're trying to take advantage of. Just jump through him. In this case, I didn't, so let's see what I do as a result. Just walk forward. If I'd known this part as a kid, man, my life would have been so much better. Aim here. You've got a little bit of a range, but I usually aim for right in the center, and you've got a decent range here. Let me advance a little bit. Show you where I aim. Kind of just shooting early. So you can see I shot right about here. There. That's going to unlock a button, which is going to bring down an Agent 9's power-up, which is saving grace in this as Agent 9. You can see that falls. When it falls, don't as soon as you come out of triangle there, don't immediately start strafe pumping. You can actually miss this. You do need to wait like ever so slightly before you start doing it. If strafe pumping is easier, hold L1, hold forward, mash R1. No diagonals are needed like normal Agent 9. So ideally what I'm going to try to do is try to carry that momentum through into here. That's not always going to work. As you can see in this case. Since it didn't, what I need to do is try to shoot this guy. Because oftentimes he moves forward, but you bonk into him and you can't get past him in the wall. So you need to kill him. You'll usually take damage if that happens. In that case, he walked forward enough that I was able to go past him. But like I said, I'm trying to keep all this momentum to get to this corner back here. Now, there is an option. You can actually go into this room right now. There is one spawner here that you can shoot. The perk of leaving it for later is you don't have to break the spawner. It'll already be broken. So remember, we're going to do 2 passes. And any spawners that currently exist but don't exist in the second pass just become gems, the gems that they are. So we take advantage of that. Make sure, and like I said, we're trying to get absolute momentum going. Taking advantage of just flying straight into a wall, turning, and flying straight into another wall. So that's kind of the route logic here. Come through here. And again, I take the momentum pretty well. As you can see, I do have situations where I try to build momentum back up. Putting L1 back on and mashing R1. And then I like to zigzag. So I will kind of go around and break the baskets as it's falling. Start my mash into here. And go next door, right next door. Get the basket, so on and so forth. Now, this can go any number of ways with how your momentum carries. Again, I'm trying to carry this momentum straight into this room. If for some reason I get stuck, if for some reason I get popped up, it's another thing. It's very easy to pop up on, you can see this is kind of ramped. So that kind of pops you up easily. And again, just hitting a wall sometimes will pop you up anyways. Oftentimes if you're by a ninja, the ninjas don't care about your verticality. They will always go to right up next to you, so they will hit you right when you get down, so that's very dangerous. If for some reason I pop up in this room, I will actually clear this room early. I will go clockwise, and I will leave these 2 things on the right side for kind of the second pass. The basket, and there's not one there, but there's going to be a spawner right there. That'll have a gem, of course. Ideally, I fly straight into here. Now, you do need to kill this guy. This is very important. For some reason, Agent 9 in cutscenes lacks invincibility, like Spyro has. I'm not sure if that's true of all characters that aren't Spyro, but for some reason, what'll happen is if you'll get this egg, this guy's still alive, he'll shoot you. You'll actually take damage, and then he'll run into you. And this is true of Agent Spyro, if you're doing that, but the thing with Agent Spyro is Spyro won't take damage. He'll run into you and turn you around. And the way the transition works is it flips you 180 degrees, regardless of your position. So it gets really annoying dealing with him. So the way I like to do this is like that. Every now and then you'll get lucky with that, and zoom in, shoot these, kind of come around there. So make this arc, put myself in there. You can see I've flipped 180 degrees, just like we needed. I'm gonna hold R1 to get that 5 gem on my way out. Baskets as Agent 9 in first person are very difficult. This is kind of the first instance. You do need to kind of hit the center portion. Luckily, the majority of these we get pretty close up, I should say. If you're doing this, be very mindful of this 5 gem. I find it one of the easiest ones to miss, personally, because I'm trying to take myself into this corner, but I usually need to back up a little bit. In that case, I think I walked right over it. Shoot yourself on. Ideally, you will be shooting as you come into this. You want to break this as soon as possible, so you're waiting the least amount of time.
I didn't get it.
And then we clear this clockwise. As I'm getting this, I will shoot forward. Every now and then, one of your shots will hit that basket. Like, it's very difficult. I didn't get it there. That's okay. You can be pretty confident in how you move here. As long as you're not waiting for too long, you don't have to worry about killing any of the ninjas. You can play greedy with that 5 gem and get yourself anchored into here. Be very careful in this turn. For some reason, these guys won't always be right here, but they will typically shoot to where you end up. The way they take aim has something to do with... I don't know if they would aim right there. That seems a little bit too early, but they always end up sniping me is what I'm trying to say. 88 is looking very good at this point. This is typically where I've started to check my gem count for this section. Ends in 88. We're going to leave with 08. You can... There's an extra life right to the right side. If you're down, I recommend getting it. If you're full sparks, you're probably fine. Be careful not to shoot into this room. That's very, 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 very important. There's an explosion in this cutscene. I just missed it, which is actually kind of funny. If you hit that explosion as Agent 9, you will take damage. Because, again, it doesn't have invincibility. And again, I like to get the power-up before this cutscene. And then as Sparks finishes, I can do Sparks Finder right here as he's walking into this. And I can just double check that I have all the gems. But I know I don't even need to do this because I know my gem counts. I'm going to show you Agent Spyro now. So you'll mash through and you'll typically charge through. So you'll charge through and you'll end up kind of right about here. There is a very cool trick where you can actually get pretty deep into the level early. And it looks like this. So here's Agent Spyro, Natty. You fly up and you get a little bit of a wall glide usually. You'll make it through there.
Let's go.
It's kind of difficult, but you're able to get it kind of somewhat consistently here. So here's 2 different examples of me getting it. This skips the death abuse, so obviously I came in with blue sparks, and there's at least that extra life at the end here.
Alright, sweet.
You go through. There's nothing in the beginning of Agent Spyro, should you not do this, that really warrants me to like cover anything. Because everything that you skipped, you'll just get on the way back very easily. But to go through Agent Spyro, if you're not going for this, you have to come over to the side he's looking at. So you would come, you pause out, and then you jump over. I like to ride the wall. I will cover that and talk about that. If you're not doing that, you come here. You do a spin jump like so. Now I will cover this a little bit more in depth. I like to always come here to start with. If you're doing the unplug method, you might be able to hold down left and square an X and take a different line. But I'm just going to teach this one. So I like to rub against the wall. I kind of use this as when I like to turn. As you can see, I start to turn in there. Rub up against it. And eventually I'm going to jump. And I'm going to aim right about in here, holding forward. I'm going to try to turn and get a little bit of a boost, as you just kind of saw. It's not always going to work. And then with the boost, glide out of it. Now you can also wall boost yourself out of this, off this seam. So you need to turn slightly left in and then right out. And then immediately when you're past that, you need to fix the camera. I like to hit R1. It'll snap it. The visual cue for when I hover is when the top of the screen touches this 5 gem. Just about. So you can see it's getting there. I hover. Now the thing is, it's not an immediate head bash. I let myself gain some height before I head bash. You can also turn, which I think might help with the, you see how this is a slanted wall? I think the turning might help with that. I'm not 100% sure. But here's one where I kind of turn. It's also a slightly different success. You can see I did go in a little bit to try to get a little bit of a boost. And then I'm going to turn just ever so slightly and make it through. Every now and then you will get the 5 gem and die and not get the trick. You'll get stuck on the floor too. They'll kill you. Don't worry about that. It's just a slower failure. Now, if you're not doing that, you're gonna start here. What we typically do is we come back here and do a couple sprouters, just like so. You've got a decent clearance, but you don't have a ton here. See, I just barely move forward and it grabs me. Same thing for like over here. So that's why you kind of exaggerate. And if you're not careful, you really want to be hugging this wall, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. 2 usually does the trick here. And again, those 5 gems that you would get, this 10 gem, are the only things that you really miss out on if you do that quicker one. And again, you just get those at the return. Either way, if you don't get that, it's not a big deal. There's a little bit of a text box manip you can get at the end here. You're just in first person Agent Spyro earlier. That's not a big deal. I don't know if it's better for me to show you through one lens or the other. I'll take you through. Yeah, I'll take you through first person. It's probably better this way. This is the route that I like to take. Jump on through, get the 10 gem. Clear nothing in this room. And then I like to go the right side first because it's closer, and we'll get the left side on the way out based on how we exit that room. If it can be, if you're in first person, it kind of doesn't make a difference how you deal with this. Just make sure you don't zigzag the hall entries. If you are in third person, normal Spyro, you might find it easier to go on this far wall first because the way it goes is basket, free gem, basket, and flame charging in first person Agent Spyro while pivoting can be a little bit awkward. So Bob's your uncle if you want to do it that way. There's nothing wrong with that. Charge through this. You didn't need to get that gem, you know what I'm saying. But there, that's what I'm talking about. So you can see I kind of give up. I stop holding square to make sure I pivot well enough. If you're in third person, you definitely want to clear out this room counterclockwise as you enter. Like to jump. Not a big deal how you do it otherwise. Now, I usually walk in and flame this guy, and then, again, as third person Agent Spyro, I'll get these. If you were in third person to begin with, this will force you into first person, so. world. And so now, oh, well, so I'm doing this the hard way. Something like that. You can take advantage of Sparks' range. I'll show you right here. Come a little bit forward before charging. You can also jump and get those out of the air. These guys really aren't kind of really made for dealing with Spyro, it seems like. So you shouldn't be taking as much damage as I am. You can flame these guys, they won't... Oh. They're not going to do the thing where they... in the normal fireworks level, when you flame one of these guys, they will backflip and hurt you. They don't do it in this case. Again, they're just kind of not expecting to deal with this purple dragon. This is not the monkey they were told about. Nope. Okay. So we come through here, get the gem. If you for some reason needed that 10 gem, it's there. We're gonna clear through this quickly. Pivot. Charge through. Charge through. Get this on your way. If you did the wall glide at the beginning, or if you did, well, I guess either of the wall glides, you will come to this point, and you can see the text. That's the starting text box that shows up here. One advantage of doing it in this way is you can actually stack the text boxes and skip them very easily. So normally it's going to look like that if you're too slow, or that last text box will be the one that you see if you didn't do it this way. If you wait until this fade to black right now before you mash, you can mash through everything and you'll get this kind of like where Spyro doesn't reposition himself. After this, again, you're going to leave with 88. No, 108. X08, excuse me. There we go. Jump into there. You can turn back. You can do a little bit of jump. You don't necessarily need to. Get that gem. Head on into Twin Dragons. The Twin Dragons is a monster. They are subs, but they're not consistent. The Twin Dragons will respond to you and how you approach, but it's kind of random exactly what they do from there. So let's see what I do. You can tackle this any which way you want. So you're gonna see I charge through and I get the forced pop up from the power up rather than gliding through the power up. That's just how I like to start. You don't have to start like that. What I found for at least a little bit is that causes this orange guy more often to turn in. Now the ideal scenario is you're gonna have both of these guys circling in this area repeatedly. Now, is that going to happen in practice? No, but that's what you generally want to do. That's the easiest way to shoot them. You'll be right up against them. They're not going to do anything tricky. In this case, it didn't work. Another scenario I was going to say is he can go down here. So this is one of the two tunnels. I'm always prepared for this at the beginning. He can also go behind, kind of back where I like spawned in. So you can see I try to get down. This is not actually a really bad job. I completely bail. I'm sure I'll go through the tunnel again at some point. I completely switch. I forgot about that. Typically we do orange first. It's because orange is right in front of us. It doesn't really matter. Keep in mind these guys regen. So that damage I did the orange guy is probably going to go away. You kind of have to play. You have to be very adaptive. If things just aren't going to work out for one of them, switching to the other when it's right in front of your face like this, perfectly fine to do. So this is the other tunnel. That tunnel sucks. This follows normal flight logic in that the higher you fly, the slower you fly, the lower you fly, the faster you fly. So the lower tunnel, you can fly pretty fast and keep up with those guys. This tunnel up here, no, do not ever. I shouldn't say don't ever. The generally accepted way we do it is we don't enter the tunnel and chase after them. There are gems in there we need to clear later, unfortunately. So it might not be the worst thing to follow them in there. But typically what we do is there are a couple problem gems outside that if one of them goes into there while we're trying to kill them, we'll go and get them. So these are the first two, probably the most common ones that you'll get in my opinion. This one's not as big of a problem, but this one is. It's just so far out of the way with the route that we do afterwards. But generally I connect these two. So the first time one of the dragons goes in, if it goes in this one, I get this and then the basket. And I do something like this. And that times you very well to when this dragon actually comes out. And I try to get on the right side of him, like so. My idea being that I can maybe manipulate him left. Because what happens is he'll oftentimes come out of this tunnel and go into this tunnel. It gets annoying. I'm not a big tunnel guy. Some people are okay with the tunnels. I'll follow them in there, but I'm not the happiest camper. Again, you're doing a lot of reacting. Note how they go up and down, slink around. That's something you have to practice yourself. But this is an instance of this inner circle that I was talking about. This is exactly what I want in the fight. If they go in the tunnel once, that's usually okay. Again, this one actually ended very well. You're not always going to have a lucky situation where you kill one and the other one's right in front of your face. Nor are you going to have this good of RNG. The fact that I was able to do that is just... That's so good, man. Do your best there. So that would be maybe like a best case scenario, is you've cleaned up only those 2 gems. Again, you can see I'm right up against them. I'm trying to match their up and down movement. Every now and then you'll get a dead hit on them for some reason. I don't fully understand why. And every now and then you will also get a... They'll regen. So, we're going to follow the same path regardless. This gem is another problem gem. And this gem is another problem. I say problem. They're annoyingly out of your way. You can see this isn't the best. If I needed this vase, I would go and get it right now. And then come into this tunnel. And if I needed this basket down here, I would jump right and then ease back in. This one is another annoying gem. Typically... I'll show you which one I connect that one with. That would be like my backup gem to get. 87 is what you want out of here. So your gem counts are going to look a little bit different because this is actually the proxy route that I'm going to show off after. But I do want to show just kind of a different example of Twin Dragons. This one is also going to be very good, mind you. So again, here I get the manipulation. He goes forward. And I actually get really lucky, and he stays here in the center. These are some sloppy shots, but I'm hitting enough. Cool, he's right in front of me. As you're killing one of them, do you want to be mindful, keeping your peripherals, looking out for the other one, get an idea of where they're going to be. So here, this is a very specific scenario. I didn't feel comfortable because I was too far left already to get this basket down here and then the vase, so I opted to just get the vase. This is a more pressing gem, and you can see what I do is I travel more to the right again because I want to push him left. It didn't work in that case. Back here is another common place you're going to be dealing with them. This one's it's not the greatest. You wouldn't think it would be that bad. They do weird things back here. Let's see if this one does. They'll occasionally just do like weird turnarounds depending on how you approach them. So right here, this guy could have opted to go do like this weird snake around. It would have been really annoying. Another thing is, as they're kind of going towards the tunnel, it looks like, I try to be on the opposite side to ease them away from the tunnel. Does that help? I think it technically does help. It's not guaranteed. Nothing in this is guaranteed, unfortunately. Same thing if they were approaching from the right side, I tried to be more right to push them left away from the tunnel. That's my hope.
Dude, this is fucking insane.
That was good. I was very excited. I'll show you really quickly because I only got the one extra gem. Maybe I got 2 accidentally, but that's okay. So here is getting that basket that I told you I missed before. Just jump. Apparently I flopped. You don't really need to flop. Not that big of a deal. So let me see if I can get this guy behind me. Maybe I'll follow this guy. Don't go down. Don't go down. Alright, well anyway. This gem I like to pair up with this gem. You can see it right there. similar to how I pair up that with that. So I prioritize vase and basket first, and if that's failed, then I will kind of go out of my way and get this into this. And again, try to come up and push them this way. Let me see here. And so if you're... I demonstrated going from basket to vase when they go in the tunnel. From going from vase to basket, I like to really come over to the left to try to push them in, just like so. So I'm trying to push them away from being over here. I really want them to circle in that one spot. And again, you'll get comfortable the more you do this. This comes with practice. You might even find... So there's kind of an example, like, is he going to turn? Is he not going to turn? Is he going to be a... But yeah, actually that was annoying. I was gaining on him, and I'm a little further away. So it's kind of the logic. Again, if they're circling there, they're not guaranteed to stay. I like to generally kind of turn quickly. A little bit of a square press. There you go. We'll move on. This is the wrong one. This is the right one. So 87 is what you want coming out of here. You can see. Oh my god. Or 85 if you missed that 2 gem. Snake around here, just like so. If you missed that 2 gem, you would just pass this and go to the right, and the 2 gem will be right next to this where those 2 vases were. I'll just show you really quick without showing it. Be right here. The green gem would be sitting right here. And there you go. That is Agent 9? That's Fireworks Factory. I think I got everything. Cool. Let's talk about Firefly. So here is Firefly. I don't have the greatest input display here, but that's okay. So again, I've found I like to walk, but it's alright. I'm going to shoot to be a little bit left of this dash. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to aim a little bit between these two. Between these two. And I'm hopefully push him this way. I am going to do a very small hop after flaming. Very small. We want to hit kind of the close side of the Firefly. So there's my X input. It's a little hard to see, huh? X. I don't know what the repress was. And then what I want to do is aim for the center of the Firefly. I'm a little bit right. It looks like it works out. But that is generally where my head is. Now the Firefly, again, the tricky part in Firefly is the fact that it doesn't move the same way every single time. Even when you move the same way, it seems like. And you're going to fire on up. Just like so. Let's see here. So here, I have a save state where it's pretty much almost guaranteed to always move in the correct spot. Again, sometimes you might need to kind of react. Just like so. If I was doing this more from entry, it would be a little bit different as far as if I'm going to get it. You can technically save some of these by doing a Sproder at the top. It's very difficult. It's a very fadey 180 thing to do. Again, you can see there I had to kind of turn into it. I jumped too late on that one. I wasn't right enough, I think. Of note with Firefly is every now and then you will get the vase, one of the vases, typically the right one. If you were really trying to greed it out, you could try to get both of these vases and then hit the Firefly. It's one of those things, because it saves you kind of having to come all the way over here later, you'll see. I generally just try to get it, period. If you do get the vase, you'll eventually figure it out. I'm usually so focused on the Firefly I don't always notice. If you do happen to notice, if you get it, cool. I'll try to point out when I use gem counts, and my entry looks something a little bit more like this. I like to walk, forward, jump, and then turn, and go like this. I didn't get my flame, but that's the idea here. Into it. Alright. Now let's... Oh, where'd it go? There we go. Let's watch this. Again, the reason why I do the walk is I find it a little bit more consistent. Okay, I do not get the...
Practice this route? No. Have I practiced Firefly?
Vase. We're gonna clear everything out here first. Make sure you get that one gem. This is still going to be the exact same situation. You may or may not get a double. So I think that guy threw. Yeah. So this is what I was talking about before. Be mindful of that. Difference is here, we run straight through. One of my favorite things here is make sure you don't miss this. Let the green gem go. We don't care. We will get that green gem later. This is pretty standard. Looks like I enter with 72. Your mileage may vary. I don't have a hard gem count because sometimes you might pick up a couple extra gems here if you move slightly awkwardly. I'm going to skip through all of this. Coming out, it's basically the exact same, of course, through everything. I don't know why I opted to get that gem. This is maybe like a longer ago. Greta will notably not be on the stairs this time. She'll actually just kind of teleport in.
I can't imagine.
This is all handled the same way. This one actually had Agent 9. I was not going for the wall glide at the time. Your gem count is going to be a little bit different. Leaving. You're going to have 5 or 7.
Hold on.
I believe. Yes. So I have, I'm going to end at 65. So 65 is Bob's your uncle's number. 67 would be if you got that vase. So here I'm all set. Again, I'm going to wait for the fade to black. I actually messed it up there. It's funny. Charge jump into this whirlwind. This is a fine one to charge jump into. There's nothing different here. Yeah. Nothing different really with Twin Dragons either. I will take note of what you leave with.
Check.
44 or 46 if you got the extra vase.
Too early.
Alright, so this is going to look the same for the ending as the non-proxy route, except we're going to keep going. Slink on over here, pick up these vases.
I think my gem count in Agent Spyro was off because I didn't get that too.
Grab that. Again, be careful not to go too far close to that,
Rocket.
that bridge.
Because of how the cycles line up here.
So here, everything looks pretty similar. This is the one difference. The whirlwind will be spawned here. Oop. Be careful not to go into it. So you can see it right here. It's going to be right up against it. In this situation, you are going to want to shoot this guy. Shoot after you hit this guy. Typically, your angle makes him go to left. So you're not going to have to worry about hitting him or having him block your shot. Typically good. One difference here is after coming out, we're going to snag this green gem and not care. We're going to keep going. You can do this way, just like so. Similar idea as before. We do not need this rocket. That's one key difference. Come through. I actually went too close, so here's an example of me having to go there. It's actually, I didn't know I did that in this segment. You can do this slightly faster. You can hit the baskets, hit this first ninja, and then come down. Don't get that again. And then go through here. That'll be slightly faster. I would not worry about pushing this guy. If you do push him, cool. If you don't, just get him afterwards. It's not too big of a deal. Again, this is using a save state from the non-proxy route. Excuse me. And then what would happen is you'd come around here, and you just have to run much more forward. Go over there. So to finish this up, I have to go all the way around. I miss a stride. I get a gutter ball. It sucks. Day's ruined. There we go. And then your lay is going to look something like this. The one gem. And we're going to come down and jump down through here and clean up like so. And that's fireworks. Good job.